says we are now live. Who knows if it's true or not? Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Social Distance Book Fest, where you can stay home while supporting authors and indie bookstores and hopefully add a few new books to your TBR. I am Jessica, and here on my channel, I post reading, writing, book, and planner-related content. Today, I'm excited to be hosting an amazing group of Authortubers for our panel, Writing for an Audience. What's an audience? I don't know. Authortube and Paths to Publishing. In a moment, I'm going to ask the panelists to introduce themselves, but if you're wondering what the Social Distance Book Fest is, 9 hours into it, here's a brief overview. This is an all-day event created by a dedicated group of bookworms from all corners of the internet. It includes 18 panels, more than 80 authors, virtual fandom meetups, virtual signing opportunities, and some amazing giveaways. Check out our website and social media linked all down below for all of the details, and check out our bookshop.org page where you can order books from featured authors and support indie bookstores. You can order any book from bookshop.org. Doesn't have to be one of our featured authors. 10% of proceeds will be donated to the Center for Disaster Philanthropy's COVID-19 Fund. We hope to take advantage of everything the Book Fest has to offer, and in case you miss any of our interesting panels, check out our playlist of all the panels and meetups, which will continue to be available for viewing. That is also linked down below. With that said, let's hear from our panelists. Please introduce yourselves, including your preferred pronouns, and tell us about your channel and upcoming books. And like I said, we will start with Kate.
Okay, so hi, I'm Kate. My preferred pronouns are she, her, and I make writing blogs, writing experiments, all kinds of stuff over on my channel. Kate Kavanaugh, which I think I said, maybe not. I don't have a book out yet, but I spent a lot of time writing them, so hopefully soon in the future.
Awesome. I'm Bethany Altazada. I am the author of The Stolen Kingdom, which I put on the wall just so you guys could see it, but you really can't because of the logo. And that series is fantasy, which is my new favorite thing to write. And I forgot what else you asked. So let's go.
Hi, my name is Allison Aldridge. I am the author of Dark Radiance. That is a fantasy, dark urban fantasy kind of book. And my preferred pronouns are she/her. And I make Authortube and BookTube content on my channel.
Hi, I'm Lizelle Sambry. I'm the author of Blood Like Magic, coming out from Simon Pulse in summer 2021. It's about a young Black witch living in Toronto in the year 2099 who fails to come into her powers and is forced to choose between losing her family's magic forever, a heritage that's steeped in centuries of blood and survival, or killing her first love, a boy that is supposedly her genetic match who she hasn't actually fallen in love with yet. And on my YouTube, I talk all about my journey through traditional publishing and my experiences and interviews with authors, and sometimes the odd Sims 4 Let's Play.
Also, all of our Authortubers are linked down below as well, because I'm cool and I did that. That's a thing I set up. Okay. I will go to our first question of the day. It's just going to be an icebreaker question, and it is, what is your go-to writing snack? So Bethany, we'll start with you this time.
Oh shoot. Okay. You did warn me that you would do that. So I feel a little bit lame. I'm not big into any like special drink, but I do find myself, I drink like water with I don't know if you guys know the Mayo Mio, however you say it, the drink mix is, to make my water more interesting, because I hate water by itself. That's it.
I'm kind of the same way. I don't have a routine go-to snack. I'm just a snack person. Like, I always like to snack. But you can always find me with a caffeinated beverage, whether that's like Diet Coke or a coffee. I'm a caffeine fiend. So that's always at my desk when I'm writing.
I really alternate between snacks. Sometimes I'll be really fancy and like make a whole cheese plate with like grapes and like deli meats and stuff. But like most of the time I just have like Earl Grey tea with milk and sugar.
Oh yes, I do that too. High five.
That's what I love following Lizelle on Instagram, because she'll post in her stories like your different cheese plates and stuff, and I just look at it like, I wish she could magically transport those to me.
Yeah, it's like mostly a food Instagram. It's very
I drink obscene amounts of coffee. So that's what it is. I have a kind of fancy espresso maker, and I just make all the cappuccinos. And I do like to snack. So usually like some raspberries, some strawberries if I'm being healthier. Yeah.
Okay. Icebreaker question out of the way. So we're going to go into, I guess this could have qualified as an icebreaker question, but are you or do you wish to be indie, traditional, or hybrid published? Because we're Authortubers, and it's weird. We're different. So start with Allison this time.
So I'm traditionally, I'm indie published, and I want to be hybrid published. I was reading the screen as I was talking. But one day I do want to be hybrid published later on down the line.
I'm traditionally, or will be traditionally published. I feel like I'm going to stay on that path because even though I work in marketing as my day job, for whatever reason, like doing it fully for my book is terrifying and I'm not equipped. So
oh, sorry. I had a little bit of a lag. I'm not published yet, but I do want to be a hybrid author because I think there's a lot of plus sides to both indie and traditional publishing. So for me, it depends more on which genre I'm writing, which path I would like to pursue.
Love that. I think I am fully indie published. So I forgot to say it. I should have said I am writing retellings, and I'm just kind of obsessed with how indie publishing lets you do whatever you want. Like, you get full control. You get to, so I don't know if I can let that go once that, like, you know, your taste of freedom. But anyway, that's more than you asked, but I love indie publishing.
Okay, for our next question, does your chosen publishing route influence what you choose to share on your channel? Yeah, we're Lizelle this time. I had to think about it too.
Definitely for me on my channel, because I'm in the traditional publishing track, that's kind of where all of my experience comes from and what I talk about, because I don't really want to talk about something that I literally don't know anything about. If I do chat about other publishing paths, it's because I've brought on a writer or a friend who knows what they're actually doing. So one of my friends does hybrid publishing, so she self-publishes her poems, Kes Costales, and so I've done videos with her where she's talked about the experience of hybrid publishing, and everything I talk about is traditional because, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm far enough along yet for it to influence. I'm sure in the future, like, I know, Lizelle, you had to wait to announce what your title was going to be. And that's something that obviously, if you're doing indie publishing, you decide and get to announce when you'll release it. So down the line, it might matter more to me, but not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. I didn't even think about that. It definitely influences what I share, just because, like, once I learn something, I feel like I have to tell people. I feel like each time I learn a cool marketing strategy, or I learn something about, like, right now I'm learning how to do hardcovers, and I'm like, I want to share this because it's so cool, and, like, why not share what you know? So I feel like I definitely am influenced by just picking things up along the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way with Bethany. Because I am indie published, I don't go into talking about traditional publishing because I don't know a whole bunch about it, just stuff I learned from my degree and from just going up until the full read-through stage. I know about querying and stuff, so I can give tips on that, but I can't go into the whole after the query, how you got your agent or anything like that. So I do think it influences my content a lot too.
Okay. Next question. You guys are answering these too quickly.
You're on top of it.
This is not rapid fire. It's because a lot of the other panels are moving a lot more slowly, but it's because I think it's because we have people that aren't used to being on camera all the time, whereas the five of us are used to it at this point.
Yeah.
So
they're like, answer the question, move on.
Yeah. Question, move on. Okay. This is actually one that Bethany sent to me as not Bethany Ochsada, but Bethany Pullen, who is this is her brainchild. What is your favorite type of content to create versus your most viewed content?
Okay. I think my most viewed content is my I Tried Writing Like series, where I try writing like famous authors. And other writing experiments like the 24-hour write-a-thons and stuff, which I don't necessarily recommend anyone else try, but if you do, please let me know so I can binge watch your video. Yeah, I love the experiments though. They're my favorite kind of stuff to make, even if they don't get as popular as the I Tried Writing Like series. But I also really love sit down and chatty videos. Those are always fun to film, especially if I have like a lot of feelings on the topic, or if it's like a ranty thing, or I'm frustrated with myself or something. Yeah, it's just fun.
Let's see, favorite type. I think my favorite is marketing related, just because there's like, it's just never ending. Like, you can share all kinds of things and you never run out of stuff to say, and it's like fun for me. I kind of like marketing. And so yeah, I think that's the fun side. But the hilarious part is my most viewed content is actually a random series I did about how to make children's books. And it was way back when I was just doing it for fun. My family was like, you should make a book about your dog Penny, which, by the way, this is Penny.
Oh.
And she, I had a ton of cute pictures. I made it, and I was like, I'll just, as I launch it, make a series on like how to, what I've learned. And then now that's my most viewed, and it's not what I do. And so yeah.
So for my channel, I do both BookTube and Authortube. I started out as BookTube, and then I kind of shifted into Authortube as I wrote my book and felt more comfortable talking about it. So my most viewed content is a lot of my book-related videos that I'm just ranting about, like my favorite book boyfriend or my favorite series. But my favorite is recently the writing vlogs or the like writing experiments. I've been filming a video right now as a writing experiment. Those have been my favorite because they're so much fun to edit to me. I'm a big lover of editing the videos. I've been doing it for a really long time. And so anything that challenges me, I really enjoy.
I feel like my most viewed videos kind of alternate between like my how I got my literary agent book deal video and then like writing vlogs, I would say, which I do like making writing vlogs. It's just like there's so much work.
I was gonna say, Allison, you were talking about the editing being the fun part, which I do genuinely enjoy, but sometimes with those vlogs, like they get so long and it's just frustrating to edit. Sometimes you're like, why don't you stop talking?
Yeah.
I think it's because I wanted originally my degree in college to be a director and a screenwriter, so I was like going full force in high school editing, so I learned a lot of stuff. So that's why I loved it, and I just love to sit at my computer and edit a blog for hours on end.
Oh, that is not me. And it's funny because actually like part of why I started doing YouTube was because I wanted to do video production so badly, and I still edit, and I'm like, what shall I put between this clip of me rambling and this clip of me rambling?
I love that. I feel like I used to hate editing so much more when it was just like sitting in one place, just talking. That's it. I hated that, and I got so bored. And then I watched some YouTuber who's not an authortuber, and she was like showing all the like ways to make videos more exciting. And when I started implementing that, it became fun. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, oh, okay, now I like it.
Yeah, I try and like
filming it. It's fun to edit.
What?
As if you have fun filming it, it makes it fun to edit, I guess.
Exactly. I think that's it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. But yeah, the videos I enjoy the most are usually like, it really depends. I do really like the Sims videos I do. They across the board are the worst performing videos on my channel, and I don't care because I have fun doing them. So those I really like. And then like the chats I do with other authors and writers I like a lot, because it's kind of a way for me to not just look at my face constantly. There's another face for a little bit and getting to hear someone else's perspective. So yeah.
That's the one thing I wish I knew before I started, was just how much I was going to be looking at my own face. Like, I wish I would have realized.
Constantly.
Just make your picture really small in the editing pane and have everything just like the the audio, and then it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Okay, next question. Do you think the type of videos you choose to share hinder or help your writing process? As in, when Kate makes a 24-hour video, does that help or hinder your process? You know, something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Is it my turn to go first?
It can be. I don't remember.
I think it depends on what my writing mood is and where I am in the process of writing. I just went through like a really big writer's block, so to me, like talking about writing in like a writing blog or writing like suggestion video, I just didn't want to do it, and so I was like, let's not do it. And so then I didn't want to write anything. So I think it can hinder me, but then when I'm really on and I really am excited to write the story and I'm ready to write the story, then the video ideas and everything help that because I'm just pumping out content and my creative juices are flowing. So I think they go hand in hand on how I feel when I'm writing the particular story I'm writing.
I don't find that when I was trying to do 2 videos a week, then absolutely yes, because it was too many videos and I really couldn't handle it on top of like then day job plus like doing writing. And then once I had deadlines, it was a little bit much. And then I dropped down to 1 and now it's really okay. Sometimes I find that it can even kind of push me to get a little bit more done because I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a writing vlog. So I should probably write at some point during this time, or at least talking about I didn't write at all kind of helps prompt me to be a little bit more active and productive. So in that way, it can actually help a little bit, but it hasn't ever hindered, except when I was doing 2 a week. And then when it did hinder, I just immediately stopped doing that.
Yeah. I think the only hindrance is the time it takes to edit, especially if you're doing mostly writing blogs or writing experiments. The stuff I'm filming is just me writing anyways. So like the actual time to film is totally fine. And also like Lizelle said, I hate when I'm vlogging and then I have to update it with like so I did it right. So I try not to do that. I'm like, okay, this will make me write at least a little bit. And then once I'm in the zone, I get way more words than I expect. So, and that way it helps.
Yeah, I agree. It helps me long term because like once you announce a deadline or you tell people like I'm doing this, you actually have to do it. You have to come through for it. Like you have to, you know, you always have it in the back of your mind. Like I said I was going to do it and now I actually need to follow through. So I feel like the reason that I've done all that I've done is because of that accountability, both here on other social media, just telling people and having people hold you accountable is so awesome. It's really helped me.
Does that add some pressure since you do indie publishing or self-publishing too? Yeah, because okay.
Good pressure, you know, like as long as I've done a few that were too crazy and I regret it, but like most of the time it's good pressure where you're like, I'm so glad that I've committed to this and I'm following through. But yeah, sometimes it's a little much.
Yeah, because indie, it's like, yeah, I said I was going to do it, so I have to do it. Versus like, I must have done like 4 vlogs where I said I was probably going to have a title soon, and then it never happened. And I just kept not mentioning it after.
I just ended up cutting it out of the video. I'm like, I just want to do that.
Because whenever I edited the videos, I too thought that it was going to happen right then. And then I was like, oh, no, I was wrong. Nobody listened to me anymore. I just won't mention it.
That's when we hop in and like, this is the editing me note. That never happened.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I've been like, sorry, guys. Didn't know.
But that one, I'm like, I'm fine if I don't mention it because I'm like, well, it's not me. And you know it's not me. So, you know, this is a whole process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for aspiring author-tubers? I think we're starting with Lizelle this time. It is now.
Okay, yeah. To me, like my advice is to make the sort of content that you want to make and not get caught up in trying to create content solely because you think other people are going to like it. Make what's fun for you, because it's a long process. You got to film for however many hours, then you got to edit for however many hours, then you upload it and you wait. If you have rendering issues, the video renders forever. It's a lot of work to put in to put out a video and be like, I didn't really want to do that. And then if it doesn't perform well and you just put it out for performance, you'll be so sad. Versus if you just kind of create what you want. And I think that's what makes it more fun in the community wise. Like when newer people do way different stuff, it's kind of fun because you get to see a different sort of content.
Yeah. I'd also, in that same sort of respect, I would try every sort of video type there is. Like try an experiment, try a vlog, try a chatty video, try a live stream, try them all like once just to see what you like. Because sometimes you don't find out what you're into until you've done the whole thing, or you might find that you loved filming the thing and then the editing and the everything else you don't like. So you just got to try stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, and then also comment on people's videos. That's the way I made friends. So just keep commenting on people's videos. Find some people who are like talking about the stuff you like too. And yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I'm going to back up what Kate said. Pointing the wrong way.
If you point both ways, you're always right.
I love that. I wish somebody had told that to me about like trying everything, because I thought there was only one way you have to do it. And then on the flip side, I guess my advice would be, remember that this is a search engine. Like it's the biggest search engine after Google. And so when you choose video content, just like you don't necessarily have to let it influence what you're going to do, but think of the searchability and like, bye Penny. Think of like, you know, like if you're doing a vlog, like think like, how would people search that and use that for, anyway, I could go into this too long. I'll just say that there's two people I follow, Sunny Lenarduzzi and the Content Bug, who's changed her name. And those two have helped me so much just to like know what to do and know how to make videos. So I will put them in the comments while you guys are chatting because I really recommend them.
Yeah. My biggest advice is to be yourself on camera. I went through a phase on my channel where I listened to someone and thought I had to be like a robotic, like I literally sounds like I'm Barbie. I'm like, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And I go back and watch those videos and cringe because that's just not me. I am like super bubbly and I think I'm funny. I don't know if anyone else does, but my best friend told me, she was like, this isn't you, like put yourself out there. And so finally I started doing the content I wanted and acting like myself, because I was like, you know what, if someone doesn't like me and someone doesn't like my books, it doesn't matter in the long run to me. So I just kind of started being myself, and that's when I saw a jump in subscriber count and view count, because I wasn't being a Barbie on camera, because I know when I watch people and they're robotic, I'm like, what is going on? And I didn't see it till someone pointed it out to me, and it's been a huge wake-up call, because although it is, if you treat it like a business, it is a business, it's still fun. You still can have fun with yourself and your videos. And yeah, that's my biggest advice, is just be yourself, show your real self on camera.
So good. I feel like we all have to learn that. I don't know if you guys feel that way, but I think it's something you have to go through, like get comfortable.
Yeah. And it is a process. I don't know. I had my brother on for a couple of videos to like guest with me, and he said that it took him like 5 or 6 times with me putting the camera in his face before he was like, oh, I'm totally comfortable now. And I think it took me way longer than that to be so like, you can watch anyone's first couple of videos and they are so different, I think.
Yeah, and it's funny because I started out not doing that because I just made content because I thought it was fun, and I've been doing this since I was in 6th grade. And then I started treating it, I was like, I switched to this indie publishing mind that I was like, this is a business, this is how you sell books, this is the way you're supposed to be. And then someone pointed out and I was like, wow, I really need to like loosen up, because I would get like so wrapped up in a video and be like mad at myself when I was editing. I'm like, you said that wrong. And then it wasn't fun anymore. So I finally just made a video called Let Me Reintroduce Myself. And then I was like, hi, this is the real me that everyone's going to know now.
Yeah. Can I
That's a
just
good way
say,
to do
I
it.
see in the comments somebody said, I attempted Vlogmas last year. Don't think I'll ever do that again. I was like, you're brave. Isn't that every day?
Every day from from December 1 to Christmas.
It's
Oh my
intense.
gosh. That's
But
so much.
that's one way to learn.
I think if you do like have some preset videos, you're probably going to be okay, but it still is a daunting task.
Yeah,
I don't do vlogs for a reason. I'm horrible at them, so they're very far and few between on my channel. Next question. What's the one thing you hope your viewers take away from following your writing journey? And I believe we're starting with Kate this time.
Oh, okay. I guess there's no one right way to do any of this. I hope that's what it is. And also that it's okay to try a lot of different methods in order to find the way that you want to do it, whether that's like your own writing routine or the writing process, whether you're going to zero draft it or like super outline. Like, it's fine to try a bunch of different stuff, and it's fine if your process doesn't look exactly like someone else's.
That's good. What I hope they would get. I mean, my biggest things are I like gave myself 3 words. I try to be like authentic and encouraging and generous. So I feel like if I can, I think though the top one is encouragement. Like I would just find myself wanting to encourage people. Like, you've got this. Just start. Like, just start. I think it's usually the bottom underlying message is just go for it. Just try and see what happens.
Yeah, kind of going off of Kate. I think my message is like, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not know how to do something and to learn from different authors and reach out to different authors in your whatever you're doing. And also to just have fun with your writing, because I feel like writing is can be a very lonely task because you're just sitting at a computer staring at a screen with your characters, and although you love your characters, they're not like real people that you can like hang out with. So I think finding a community that you have the ability to express yourself and kind of bounce ideas or ask someone. I know for me, like when I was having such a bad time with Ingram's Bark, I went to Bethany and I was like, please help me. And you did. And it was really encouraging. So I just kind of give my hand to everybody. Like, you can message me on Instagram. I might not have the answer, but I might be able to point to someone who does have the answer or ask somebody. So I think that it's okay to make mistakes, and we all do it, just like the Hannah Montana song says.
Yeah.
I think for me, because I talk so much about like traditional publishing and all of that, I really hope people kind of take away that you can have a really positive experience in traditional publishing without being like a unicorn. I feel like the unicorn is talked about a lot, like people that get really huge deals and like that sort of thing. And I find that my experience is really like more middle of the road. And I hope people kind of take that away and realize that you can really succeed in the industry without being a super fancy unicorn. I had a modest amount of agent offers. I have a modest advance. I had one offer for my book, and that's all that mattered. And people used to say that all the time before, like, it only takes one. And I was like, whatever, shut up. Nobody wants to listen to you. But like, it really, truly does. And like, for it to feel more transparent and more achievable, for me, that was a super huge thing when I was joining this community, was watching people's videos and feeling like traditional publishing was something that was accessible to me, that I could achieve if I really wanted it and I really like worked at it and did my research, etc. And so I really hope people come away feeling more hopeful about the industry.
Somebody said, Keelan said she was very excited for your novel, by the way. I had to point that out.
I'm like stalking your Instagram every day. Like,
why don't we have it yet? I love witchy books anyway, so we all know that about me. So I'm super excited.
What's happening?
What your release date is? I didn't catch it earlier.
Just summer 2021 for now.
Nice.
And then at some point it will reveal itself. I will tell the masses.
You know, it will
Do
show
you
up
actually know it right now?
No,
Okay.
I don't. I'm not doing that thing where you're like secretive because you know something but
Well,
you can't tell anyone.
yeah, I know sometimes you'll know, but you can't tell. But I didn't know if you actually knew or not. You just know that you're releasing in this
Yeah.
with the summer books next
No,
year.
I would have been obnoxiously vague if I knew. I would have been like, well, maybe sometime between this date and this date. I would have definitely said something obnoxious if I had any sort of secret.
Yeah, it's gonna
Note
show
to
up in the back
self.
store of my bookstore. I'd be like, yes! The manager's gonna be like, put it down, you're fine.
Okay, next question. What kind of trends do you see happening now on Authortube? So what's going on in Authortube land right now?
Is that, do I start this one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I think it is Bethany this time.
No.
She's like, dang it, I'm not prepared. I sent you guys these
I
in an
know you
email.
did. I remember this one. Okay, what I was gonna say actually is I actually thought about this one for a while because I was like, new trends. I honestly think it's still an old trend, honestly, but the educational side, because YouTube is so, it's like educational and then entertainment, right? Like those are the two things that I just think the how-to side of thing will never go away, and I love that. I love that that's a trend because I could watch like 10 different people explain how to do something and get a little bit something different from each one of them. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just love watching somebody's process and then comparing it to somebody else's process and that kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't think that's really a new trend, but I feel like it's a trend to stay. And I love it. So I don't know. Somebody else answered better than me.
Well, I was gonna go off of that too because I think that you like the how-to videos are gonna stay. I feel like AuthorTube goes through like dips of like new things, and right now we're really in like the how-to writing blog sense, and I don't know what comes next. I really like the experiment blogs or stuff like that where you get to see somebody try something new, like a plotter becomes a pantser or a pantser becomes a plotter. I love those videos, so I hope those kind of skyrocket a little bit more. But I do think the how-tos are really important to stay. I don't know what comes next. I usually can predict, but right now we're kind of in like this like going up until someone does something. Maybe tags. I really like tags. Those I hope those stay too or become a bigger trend again.
Ooh, maybe stay-at-home vlogs. Stay at home.
Right now.
I feel like the vlogs are naturally like stay-at-home vlogs. I've been filming one and I'm like, I go nowhere. I do nothing.
Yeah. Oh man.
I would say maybe it's because it's Camp Nano right now, and because when I started AuthorTube, I hadn't been through a Camp Nano yet, but a lot of sprints. I'm noticing that a lot of people are doing like tons of writing sprints, which is really great because now I organize my entire writing schedule around sprints. So I lack the ability to write without them, it seems. So yeah, and that's really good.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, it's live streams because I swear I think it started back in like this November. NaNoWriMo, it really took off. And now it's like there's overlapping sprints now. And I'm always like, so you can always find one, which is really good. But I'm also like, whose do I go to? Which like, so I think
because we're staying at home now, people are like, I still want to write with people because I can't go to my writing groups if you have one. So it's fun to write with your internet friends and then sit there between and talk about other things or ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, the writing sprints are a big thing right now.
Well, and I love that I found AuthorTube kind of because of BookTube. And so I love seeing what the trends are in BookTube also. And at this point, I almost feel like we're kind of like tags have gone away on both sides for whatever reason. There's more people like doing read-ins together. And then, you know, there's all the reading blogs and the writing blogs. Like, it's just kind of, it's fun to see.
Yeah, because they intersect a lot because that's how I found AuthorTube as well. And I think that especially on like book Twitter, you see a lot of people who read books now wanting to write, and so they come into AuthorTube. So I think we're now coinciding together, being like one community.
Yeah.
one of our commenters, Eva Wright, said that larger collabs are trending more now as well, which is also something that we've been seeing where in the past, you know, you would have like maybe 4 or 5 people that would do a collab, and now we're getting like 20 people doing a collab. So we are getting larger collabs as well. So interesting to see. And I think Bethany and Kate, I know the three of us have been around since the Stone Ages of Authortube. And like 3 years ago, there weren't live streams. Like it wasn't a thing.
No.
They didn't exist.
I know, right?
So
that.
It was not a thing, and it just like slowly started, and you would be like, there would be one, and you would be so excited, and now it's like 15 a day, and you're like, I can't keep up with all of these. So
yes, like I used to panic. I still do, because I'm not good with social anxiety here, but I used to panic so hard because my critique partner used to want to do live streams all the time. I'm like, really? Really though? They're not so bad once you're started.
Once we're all used to it at this point. So
yeah. I like joining them. I still like can't host my own yet. I'm like too panicked. But
find someone to do it with you. It makes it a lot better because then you have someone to talk to in the like lulls if there's not a lot of people there.
I volunteer.
No.
I was gonna say I actually 100% intend to message Lizelle after I got done with all of this book festival stuff for my May live sprints, because I've been trying to get people that are not as familiar doing them all the time. So
yeah,
expect a DM in your inbox.
I will look for it.
It's not a creepy one, so it's one that you want to get.
We're mutuals, so it's not creepy. Even if we weren't mutuals, it wouldn't be creepy because I respond to most people anyway.
Same. Okay, next question. Do comments you get from viewers ever give you ideas of things to add to your writing? So as you're like working through the process of writing a book, maybe you're drafting or doing something, and a commenter's like, you know, it'd be really cool if you did XYZ. Like, does it ever give you ideas of what you could do? I think we're starting with Allison this time, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. See, I still consider myself a baby author too. Like, I still am like tiny, and I don't get a ton of comments, but I don't really share my story plot line a whole lot, or I haven't in the past. So no one's really given me suggestions, but when I go to like book events or stuff like that, that's where I kind of get some inspiration if I like bounce stuff off of other authors and stuff. So not my comments, but I have gotten ideas through the interwebs and my friends, like Twitter and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't usually get like comments that point to anything specific in my writing, maybe because I'm also like fairly vague, not to be like cloak and dagger, but just because I don't know how to coherently explain things I'm doing as I'm doing them. And so not usually in that case. I'm also like pretty regimented. Like I have my process for how I write and I cling to it. I do my save the cat stuff. I do my internal monologue, and I have everything set up, and pretty much I rely solely on my critique partners and beta readers to make comments. But if people made them, I'd be open to them. I think it just, people never have enough context.
Yeah, I think I've accidentally maybe overshared on story ideas at some point, especially during like the NaNoWriMo daily vlogs, which then gives people the idea that they can like suggest or like maybe know more about your story. So I've had suggestions. I don't usually use them though. Like I'm trying to think of any time that I would have used that. I think it's because we all love our stories so much, and like part of the creative process is like you coming up with it on your own, with the exception being like beta readers or alpha readers, and like they've read the whole thing, not just heard an idea. I will say that I frequently use suggestions during live streams for naming, because I'm notoriously bad at naming my characters or anything of importance. And so I do use those suggestions all the time. I'll just quickly be like, anyone have a name for like this? So yeah.
That's awesome. I like that. I was gonna say no all the way up till like halfway through what you were saying, and then you reminded me, because you would have to almost be plotting with people live, like you said. And then I was like, wait, I actually did that once a long time ago. My CP and I did I hope you guys know the Save the Cat book. If you don't, I'm going to sound crazy. But the Save the Cat Writes a Novel book by Jessica Brody, where there's 15 beats. We my CP and I did live streams and we went through that. And we plotted with people. So it wasn't an actual story though. I don't know if it counts. But we have plotted live, and the ideas that you get when you do plot live are actually kind of incredible. So I feel like if I was going to, I almost want to do that in the future, but like you guys were saying, I also don't want to give away too much because then people can steal it. So it's that weird balance. You know what I mean? Where you how much do you share? But I do want to point out, Renee said in the comments, she said that Sarah Cannon was reading a chapter a day for one of her works. And I was thinking that could be kind of fun if you got to a point where you were able to read little pieces somehow. Then you could have people help you without sharing too much. I don't know.
Sarah has been sharing a book that she is writing as she's sharing it.
Yeah,
so
exactly. How crazy
she has
is that?
been, she has so many books already anyway. But she's been, it's a story that she had an idea for and she worked on several years prior and has been shelved. And she's just kind of been wanting to work on something during the quarantine. So she just decided that she was going to publish a chapter a day. And that's what she's been working on for the past couple of weeks.
That's really cool. I think a for fun project like that would be awesome.
Yeah. Or something you've shelved that you're not going to go back to.
Yeah.
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 Story.
Because Bethany's live stream was super fun. I had come to a couple of them, and it was fun to watch the comments and about the names and just everything, because it was kind of a collaborative effort without you putting the words on the paper. You're kind of giving ideas, and that was really fun. So I think a project like that would be fun, because then you can be look what we made.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we're going to get into the interesting part where I'm going to ask you guys viewer questions because you have no idea what these are. So I get to put everybody on the spot. I'm excited. First question, what is your favorite video that you have made? That look on Kate's face says everything.
Oh, shoot.
I think Laselle's starting this one. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I am. Oh, man. My favorite video that I've made. Oh, that one's really different. You know what I actually liked a lot? And maybe this is a favorite video I've made. My very first video, my Authortube newbie tag 2.0. And I like that a lot because in my attempt to do something a little bit different, I went around to all the different locations in Toronto in my book, because my book is set in Toronto. It's in the future, but a lot of the locations still map on. And so I literally after work, lugged my camera around with me, though it's very small, but to all these different locations in Toronto. And I talked a bit about the setting, and then I answered a question. And that was actually really fun for me. It was nice. I always like going to places in my book setting because I put them in there because I love them. I put the OCAD building because when I was a teen, I volunteered at the Art Gallery of Ontario for 2 years, then a third later separately. So I used to go there as a teen once a week for 3 hours every week. It was the best part of my high school experience, was volunteering at the art gallery. And so walking past that building all the time, I put it in my book because it was so stand out in my mind. I love that part of Toronto, in that whole Grange area. So it was kind of fun to share that with people in that video as an introduction to me.
Yeah, that's so cool. I want to go back to Toronto so bad. Honestly, I saw Grapefry was joking that it was the 24-hour write-a-thon that was my favorite. Thanks, Grape. I don't know. I feel like there are so many videos at this point. I liked living as my character for a day. That was really fun. Also, I filmed part of it at Disney World, so it was great. Yeah, any of the experiments. I like a lot of the I Tried Writing likes because I get to merge researching these really cool authors with then attempting their routines. But I don't know. Yeah, that's not one.
Oh gosh, I don't. This is a hard question. I was actually looking at mine, and I was I still don't know. I want to say the newest one, each newest one. You know what I mean? The latest one. maybe my book trailers, just because it's such a cool, it's like a whole different kind of creating that's almost like a whole different side that's not as Authortube. That's a word. So it's kind of fun to make book trailers because you can just set things to music and it's almost like you're doing a whole different kind of video. I'm going to say book trailers. I don't know.
Trailers are so fun. I made one for my NaNoWriMo project and I had the most fun time doing it.
That's awesome.
Now you've thrown me off because now I'm like, wait, my book trailer. I love making my book trailer and it was so much fun. But I would have to say probably my first like travel Authortube video where I got to go to another festival in Orlando, and it was the first time I got to do an author event or anything like that, and it's just a really fun video to look back on and see like how excited I was to do an author event and meet these people that I had connected with online, and you can just see it in like my eyes that I'm just so excited to be there. And there's just so many like different clips in there of just memories, and I hope we get to go back again this year. But yeah, that's like, I look forward to that now as one of my favorite videos.
Oh, I love that. I totally forgot. Somebody in the comments reminded me of a video series that I do that I forgot I had. I was doing this Write It Badly, Make It Better series with people, and that's my new favorite. I'm changing my answer officially because I love writing with other people, which also messed up that answer earlier because I forgot about it. But we write, like, they give me answers on Instagram for a character, a setting, and a want and a need, and then I like write a story really, really, really bad, and then I make it a little bit better.
That's cool.
That series has been really fun. Yeah.
That sounds like a really fun. Okay. Ready for your next one?
Yeah.
How do you come up with the content to make longer videos? So those of you who have longer videos, how do you come up with the content for that to make it last longer than 10 minutes? Starting with Kate. No. Did we start with Kate last time? I feel like this is unfair. It was Lizelle last time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's Kate this time.
Okay, good. How do I make it longer? I don't know that I ever purposely try to make a video a certain length. It's one of those that I find out at the end how much footage I have to cut, and then that's just what happens. If you're doing like longer vlogs, so if I'm filming for like 3 days straight, that's longer than when I film for just 1 day. So that's it. I don't know.
Film longer. Got it.
Film longer.
Yeah, I feel like my question is usually how do I make my content shorter? I'm not gonna lie, like I always have too much, and I'm like, okay, what can I cut? Because something needs to go.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I like to hear myself talk is the joke I like to say, because I just keep going and going and going, and then I look at the little red dot on my camera, and it's like, you've been filming for 45 minutes. I'm like, this can't be a 45-minute vlog. So a lot of times you'll hear me at the end of my videos. I'm like, this has been too long. I'm sorry about that. I like to hear myself talk. So, come back for more if you want to hear me ramble on a lot more. But yeah, I have to find myself cutting videos rather than making them longer because they're just always long.
Yeah, I'm the same. My videos, much like my books, are always too long, and I don't know how it happens. I feel like I'm talking for like 5 minutes, and then I look at the clip and it's like 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, wonderful. So I need to cut this. So every time I do a video, I'm like, okay, let's try and make this 20 minutes or less. And if I do a short video, I'm delighted. I'm like, look at you.
That's what I should have said. That is part of the trends too, because initially Authortube, the videos were so much shorter because YouTube also like rewarded shorter videos, and then it's just all gradually gotten longer as YouTube's like, over 10 minutes, please. So yeah, I think that's part of it. I put up on the community tab at one point asking people how long they liked vlogs, and it seemed like people did like the longer ones anyways. So who knows?
Yeah, I feel like the trend has gotten to longer videos because people will put the video on while they're doing laundry or doing anything and just listen. And I think that has come with like the podcast trend. A lot of people love podcasts, and those are 30 to 45 minutes as well. So people like more content than less content now. So it's interesting to see the trends go.
And it so depends too. Like I find that if I've been like following an Authortuber for a long time, like I'm gonna watch anything they put out, no matter what length it is. So if it's like an hour, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna watch it for an hour. But then I always I'm like, okay, if there's like newer people coming on, I was like, do you want to look at my face that you've never seen for 20 full minutes? In which case I'm like, can I make something a little bit shorter for newer people?
As someone who doesn't do vlogging, so I don't have days worth of clips to mesh together to make a 45-minute video. I will say one way to not necessarily to come up with content to make a video longer, but I think the important thing is to be in the mood to film, because if you're not in the mood to film, you are going to rush through it as quickly as possible to get it done and over with. And also make sure you want to talk about what you're talking about. If you don't want to talk about it, you're not going to talk about it for very long. And so those two things are key important. If my most recent video that I posted like yesterday or the day before, it was like 4 minutes, and it's because I was not in the mood to film, and I was just like, yeah, whatever, and blah, blah, blah. But I posted it anyway because it needed to be posted. And so it's like, you have to be in the mood to film, and you have to enjoy what you're talking about, or you're just going to make it very short, and then it's going to be even tinier when you're done because you have to edit it. Or you don't have to, but you probably will edit it.
If I don't want to film, like if it's one of those days that I don't realize it and I start filming, I don't ever finish the video. Like if I don't ever finish filming, I'm like, this is dumb, and I put it away. Or like during the edit, I watch myself back and I hate it, and I'm like, so this is never seeing the light of day. So that could be the tip for the newbies too. If you're not like feeling it that day, and there will be days like that, then just it's fine.
Right away.
I'm constantly shifting my calendar when there's like a video that like is going to take a lot of work, and I'm like, do I want to do that much work this week? Swap it out with the one that takes less.
Same, yes.
There's like a 3-parter question, so this one's a rough one, but I really liked it. How do you decide how much to share your personal life, and how do you decide how much to share of your personal life in writing? What are some helpful boundaries you've put in place, and any tips for finding a good balance? I think we're Bethany this time.
Oh, shoot. Okay. How do you decide how much to share? I honestly don't know. I feel like I overshare, and then I haven't regretted it yet, but someday there might be like a stalker outside. I'm just kidding. You know what I mean? It's like, how much do you, somebody tell me, like somebody come teach me, because I don't know. I'm just being real with you guys. But helpful boundaries, I feel like, are keeping it to the writing, which I'm still a spoiler queen, so that doesn't always help. And any tips for finding balance? I feel like sometimes just running it by a friend, because I've done that. I think honestly that's going to be my answer to this question. Just finding out with you guys right now is that I usually, if I run something by a friend, I have a lot of amazing writing friends who I'll be like, hey, I'm going to tell everybody about my story. I'm going to tell them I'm doing this and this. And then they're like, maybe you should wait until, X thing happens and you can actually be sure about it. Or, maybe that's oversharing and it's going to ruin. So it always helps to bounce things off of somebody, I would say.
Yeah, I'm a very open book, so I share too much as well. I think that comes with, I've been on YouTube and different channels since I was like 12, so I just don't know how to not share. I think I've done a pretty good job at keeping like personal lives that don't want to be on camera and don't want to be a part of it out of it. Like my family doesn't want to be on camera, and that's totally fine. And so I just kind of keep them off of it. But anything with me, I'm very much an open book. If I don't want to answer something, I'm not going to answer something, and I just don't. I also have done like theater and stuff and dance my whole life, so that like trained me kind of on how you answer questions, how you handle situations. You like find the etiquette, I guess. So I think, yeah, you just have to realize who wants to be on, like, with, like, other people, who wants to be on camera, who wants something shared, and make sure you ask them if they want it shared, if you're doing, like, a blog-style clip. And with yourself, you just have to be okay with share. Like, you have to think of long term. Do I want this on the internet forever and ever? Because the internet is forever. And when you grow up in that social media age, like I did, you learn that really quick, that those comments that you say and those pictures that you have and everything is forever. And I think with other YouTubers that are larger than me, I've seen that happen where things have happened and they've said something and then it's come back to bite them. And they're like, that's not what I meant, but it's forever there. So you just have to find like what you want to share and how you want to share it with yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always think about like if I'm comfortable with sharing something or uncomfortable, I'm not going to put out something uncomfortable just in the sake of like some overarching, I have to be transparent in every single way. But I also think about like if I really actually want to share something, or if I'm not sharing something, not because I'm uncomfortable with it, but because I want to look like I'm not flawed or that I'm like perfect in some way. Or I'm thinking of like at BookNet Fest, which we were both at this way. But I had this weird social thing and I'd had a bit of social panic and I had like burst into tears alone in my hotel room. And I was sitting there and I was like, do I want to talk about that? Or do I want to pretend that nothing happened and I had a perfectly super happy time and everything was sunshine and roses? And I was like, you know what, I actually do want to talk about it because I think it probably happens to more people than I would think. And I suspected that I would feel better talking about it than I would trying to conceal it and pretend like it never happened. And so that's kind of how I think about sharing personal things, and doing that balance is really thinking about those questions. And then with traditional publishing, some things it's just like, I can't share that. So I'm like, okay, if I have a cover and I have it in my phone, I'm not going to slap it up on a video because I'm not supposed to. Or if I know my title before I'm allowed to tell people, then I'm not going to tell people. For me, I was lucky. I learned at 11 p.m. and I asked my editor, can I share it when? And she said, whenever you want. And so I shared it immediately the next day.
I was so glad that you shared that in your BookNet Fest vlog, Lizelle, because I was walking in, having attended, like Bethany and I went to a writing retreat together. And I know that like when I made my video about it, I couldn't talk about the retreat without being like, I was kind of reserved a lot of the time because people make me nervous sometimes, you know? So I think it's just something that I thought it was really nice to see.
People were really positive about it. And it's like you said, I feel like maybe nobody else would have noticed it, but I would have felt weird looking at it back, knowing that it wasn't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's the other thing. How much of your videos are just also for you, for future you, not just always for an audience. Sometimes you're the audience. And so, yeah, just feeling like you're lying by omission is kind of a weird place to be in, since you will always know. I err on the side of my own comfort, also kind of like what Lizelle was saying. And sometimes I've gone back and shared stuff that I said previously I wouldn't share. But that's something because I've gotten comfortable with it. So I kind of always err on the side of my own comfort, and that'll change. But
if it helps Lizelle, I had a full-on panic attack like before our panel, and then I was like, I'm fine.
Yeah, a lot of people said that too. Like the amount of people that had commented being like, yeah, I also cried in my hotel room before I went in. And they were people that I'd seen and like said hi to and like smiled and that sort of thing. It ended up being more positive for having shared it than if I had said nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, we've just got like a minute-ish left. So is there anything that anybody would like to add? Anything anybody would like to say? Make a comment, sell yourself on the internet, whatever it is that you would like to do. Now's the time.
Oh gosh. Add my book to Goodreads.
Yeah.
Blood Like Magic by Lizelle Sambry. If you're interested in witches in Toronto, also with some sci-fi elements, some genetic manipulation, that's your thing, add that to Goodreads.
Yeah. Allison, where's your book on the internet?
It is on Goodreads and Amazon and Barnes & Noble, pretty much anywhere that books are sold. It's about angels and fallen angels, and a girl goes to a really small Gothic town and realizes that they're at war because of her. So it's super fun, and it's kind of an homage to all those old YA loves that we have: Twilight, The Vampire Diaries, the originals, Teen Wolf, just anything urban fantasy. I was like, put it in my book. And I have tropes in there too, because I love tropes.
Tropes are good for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're tropes. That's why we have them.
Do we want to
Okay.
take any questions from the comments, or do we not have time?
We don't really have the time to. I have to run away to another panel to keep an eye on some things. I don't have any fires to put out right now, but you never know. Again, everyone, if you liked anything that any of these ladies talked about today, all of their YouTube channels are linked down below, all down there. Thank you all for joining us for this panel today. Hopefully you guys will check out the playlist. That's the word I'm looking for. The playlist down below with all of the panels, because there's 18 of them. Obviously, I don't expect you all to watch all of them today, because that's like your whole day. Especially if you include the 5 fandom meetups. The Percy Jackson one was on fire. There was
God.
300 and some odd people in there.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So thank you all for joining me today. I'm going to hit the end broadcast button, so everybody wave. Say bye.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.
It takes forever.